Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Deputy Secretary Higginbotham, distinguished guests, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon to all of you. It's a great pleasure for me and my delegation to welcome you all to this important event regarding Afghanistan's National Drug Action Plan. Our hope is that this action plan will not only help Afghanistan combat more effectively the drug scourge in the years to come, but that our new ideas, policies, and actions would also help the discussions at the UN General Assembly special session on the world drug problem in 2016. We are all aware of the history of drugs and narcotics in Afghanistan. In peaceful Afghanistan, this was not a problem in the country. It was non-existent. When peace prevailed in Afghanistan, Afghanistan was not a source of narcotic production in the country. Only when Afghanistan went through those turmoils in the past few decades, it found its way to Afghanistan, and in later years it became complicated, and now we are faced this challenge, which is not a challenge for Afghanistan only, but part of a global challenge which humanity is faced with. Nevertheless, we suffer because of it. That's the history. Like 4 decades ago, the local, very limited production for using it as a local medicine was the only sign of narcotic production. Then came the suffering of the people of Afghanistan, occupation and everything that happened, and the war and the continuation of those difficulties. And then the problem also became more complicated in the same way as the market started growing in the world. The world market grew, then this further complicated the situation in Afghanistan. In the past 14 years, our achievements have been mixed. Tremendous efforts by the Afghan government, and I would like to thank the international community, the United States, for taking the lead in helping Afghanistan in fighting against this menace, which we are grateful for the support of the international community as a whole, but the United States, and also for your renewed commitment in order to help Afghanistan. There are some hopeful figures about which recently released the land cultivated is the area is reduced. But these figures needs to be verified further. But that's in comparison to the year before. Poppy cultivation has been reduced by 90%, from 224 hectares of land to 183 hectares of land. Opium production has gone down 40%, from 6,400 tons to 3,300 tons. Poppy eradication has increased 40%, in casualty rate during the poppy eradication campaign is reduced. But the other aspects of this statistics needs to be verified, but at least we have some good news in this respect this year. As far as our counter-narcotic vision, or the new vision articulated by the unity government, President Ghani, myself, and our colleagues in the government is concerned, there are lessons from the past in regards to dealing with narcotics in our country. And those partners of us who have helped us and worked with us together, we have come to some understanding about how we missed some opportunities in the past and where were the loopholes in the new action plan has taken stock of these lessons of the past, mistakes not to be repeated, and in improvement should come about. The main point is that the political will, the determination in the leadership of Afghanistan and Afghan unity government in order to deal and address this issue and problem is as strong as you can imagine. So that cannot be questioned. The Commission, we've established Counter-Narcotics Commission to be chaired at least 3 times per year by President, and I'll be there, and key members of the cabinet will be there. It will be discussed in the cabinet level. There is a sense in Afghanistan that in the past few years, the narcotics, this problem had lost its priority because of the mixed results in dealing with it. And since the announcement of the formation of the unity government, we took note of that issue and started giving it new priority. So it will be, the Commission will be convened at least 3 times per year. Cabinet level discussions will take place. Counter-narcotics will be, from here on, a cross-cutting theme of our revised national security strategy. It's not just like an issue, an ad hoc issue, which will be addressed on its own merit. That will take place, but at the same time, it will be a cross-cutting issue in our national security strategy. At the same time, we are amending the laws concerning the enforcement in prosecution and accountability as far as the traffickers are concerned. And for the first time, we aim to align counter-narcotics planning with military operation carried out by our security forces. In short term, eradication is still an option, but in long term, of course, it is proving that the strategy must be, the focus has to be on the other aspects of the issue, including maximizing rate of drug seizures and dealing with the culprits in this regard, and changing the perception which exists that you can get scot-free. You do this and then one day you will be released, and that there is a perception, though big traffickers are still in jail. 1 or 2 manage to escape or to find their way out. That takes us to another problem, which is corruption in the recognition of the fact that narcotics corrupts the whole system is there. And also we recognize that our aims and goals of good governance in establishing the rule of law will only remain a dream if these networks of organized crime in narcotics extend their tentacles at different level of governance. So it is an issue in a priority on its own merit, but it's also a priority on the basis of every reform agenda that we have, and we will deal with it accordingly. Our of opium industry, managed by the Ministry of Counter-Narcotics, is initiating a 10-year-long district-based national program, which will include alternative development, security, good governance, and community mobilization. Community mobilization is something that in those areas that we have initiated these sort of initiatives, it has worked better than any other aspects of it, provided that once we promise the people of a province that you help us in getting rid of opium cultivation, then we will provide you alternative means. Alternative means doesn't mean that the same profit that illegally people are making from drug cultivation, but rather for the communities. And then where we have failed to deliver afterwards, we have lost the trust of the people and the credibility, and that is a big setback. There are examples as such. And in the areas that we have delivered based on the promises that we had made to the people, there we see that the results are lasting, in enduring one rather than a sort of one-off activity. So this is one of the lessons from the past experience. We also have designed mainstreaming of drug demand reduction into public health packages and intend to using the education system as a means of awareness, prevention, and research. This is also critically important that because a few years ago, Afghanistan, drug addiction was not a problem for us. Today we see that tens of thousands and more are suffering because of this. And it will become turn into a very serious challenge for our economy, for our system, for the healthiness of the system, if we don't pay due attention to it. In the Council of Ministers, I have chaired 3 meetings so far in this regard. And one was in the first few days from the formation of the unity government. In the same way, in the cabinet level, which President chairs it, it is given a priority. So when we say comprehensive, it's all aspects of it, from education, community, mobilization of communities, alternative means of livelihood, drug eradication, and programs for drug addicts. It takes into account all aspects of it. Our aim is to reduce it in the coming 10 years, to have a 90% reduction. That's our goal, our aim. And we think, in spite of its complication, it's an achievable goal. The will and determination is there, not only amongst the Afghan leadership, but also amongst the people of Afghanistan. The fact that the main beneficiaries of drug cultivation is not these farmers or these people which are smuggling a little bit of things from here and to there, but it's mainly those which are part of this narco illegal chains. But who suffers? The whole nation suffers because of it. People are aware of this. And we have the support of the people, the support of the families when they see their young children are moving towards this, and then the parents are supportive of the it's a national campaign. The National Action Plan will lead to a national campaign throughout the country, and the support of the international community and partners of Afghanistan is important in contributions in this regard. And once again, I would like to thank all those countries who have helped us. Today was also, we thought it was an opportunity to, from one side, highlight and reinforce our own commitment and reassure our partners of Afghanistan's unity government's commitment in dealing with this problem. At the same time, highlight the main points in regards to our national, our action plan. At the same time, take this opportunity to seek support in this regard, being a global problem which transit countries have responsibilities, and countries which suffer because their citizens suffer, and it's end up and it's a market for these illegal product. They have responsibilities. So joining hands in dealing with this challenge is needed. Earlier we had another meeting with our international partners, which they assured us of their continued commitment in supporting Afghanistan in security and development and other aspects of it. This issue also was raised by participants. The new drug seizure strategy has been drafted. That is in order to control drug and precursors supply into Afghanistan. And the draft counter-narcotics regional strategy is prepared and soon be shared with regional stakeholders. The cooperation from the region is critical. The precursors are coming from somewhere to Afghanistan. It's not, we are not producing it. And also it goes out in, so we, while sometimes the record of the past few years might give a sort of mixed picture where countries might not be encouraged to as such, but when you get into the detail, those agencies and countries which are involved in supporting, which have helped us in the past few years, they understand that they understand the complications of this. At the same time, they are aware of the lessons, the failures, and shortcomings. By joining hands in learning from the experience of the past, we can change the situation. Then the draft four-year Afghan drug action plan, which is the main subject of today's event. Even we are working with our partners, and their inputs are welcomed later on as well during the course of implementation of this action plan, because it's something, it's very sort of fluid problem and challenge, and in the course of implementation of action plan also we need input and contributions from our partners. This is our aim is to decrease poppy cultivation, decrease in opium production and drug trafficking, in drug demand reduction accompanied by an increase in drug treatment services. These are the three pillars of the plan, and we hope that we will have visible outcomes in a time frame with defined goals and metrics to evaluate our progress in counter-narcotic interventions. And what we propose is a practical roadmap that the international community can align their assistances in accordance, and also in exchange we promise that we will be honest in providing the right picture. Failures we admit, measures of success we should work together in order to be able to declare success, declare victory in a very serious, in dealing with a very serious challenge for mankind in our part of the world. So the normally I go through the written statement, but this time around I did both. That's why it took longer. Before coming here, I was talking to the Foreign Minister, Rabbani, that whenever there are so many pages, I get worried. Even if I go through it once or twice. So I wanted to shorten it, but it happened that it was longer than expected. But the problem is, I think, a serious one. And thank you once again for your support. Thank you.
Ambassador Tanin, thank you for your introduction, for moderating this event. Chief Executive Abdullah, I'd like to thank you and President Ghani for your leadership of Afghanistan. I'd also like to recognize Foreign Minister Rabbani, Deputy Foreign Minister Karzai, and all of the friends of Afghanistan who are here today. On behalf of President Obama and Secretary Kerry, we welcome the Afghan National Unity Government's commitment to promoting security, economic growth, democracy, and human rights. We know success in achieving these goals depends on many factors, including your work to develop and carry out a strong national drug action plan. You and President Ghani have, through the Unity Government, brought the people of Afghanistan together in common cause to build a unified, stable, and increasingly prosperous nation. Your efforts in countering narcotics are a central component to your mission of peace and stability, not just in Afghanistan, but for the region and beyond. This is a global shared problem, and it can only be addressed by support from around the world for a shared solution. While opium poppy cultivation is done by a relatively small number of farmers, it is a major and direct threat to the Afghan people's desire to live in peace. That's why the balanced and comprehensive approach you are presenting here today is so critical. There are no quick and easy solutions to the complex problems of poppy cultivation and the production, trafficking, and use of narcotics. But we know from experience that a holistic approach targeting all these facets of the drug trade works by using incentives such as alternative development assistance and deterrence such as eradication, interdiction, and vigorous prosecution. Your plan maximizes its chances of long-term success. With commitment, your National Drug Action Plan can work, and the Afghan people need it to work. Worldwide data shows clearly that countries that produce narcotics consume them. And that is true of Afghanistan, as Dr. Abdullah just said. Today, Afghanistan is suffering a terrible loss of human potential as it faces one of the highest rates of drug use in the world. 3 million Afghans, or 1 in 10, are drug users. This is double the world average. Afghanistan generates more than 80% of the world's opiate supply. So your efforts to stop production will save lives, save money, and promote public health in Afghanistan and across the world. We all have a stake in your success. Your National Drug Action Plan, created by and for the people of Afghanistan, comes at just the right time. The United States and the international community will be more than just your advocates for its implementation. We will be your active partners, for your success is our success. We're optimistic today. Through the hard work of many Afghans and the support of the international community, Afghanistan has made many advances, improving healthcare and prosecuting and incarcerating those who are poisoning your country. Today, under the leadership of President Ghani and CEO Abdullah, there are more trained law enforcement and counter-narcotics officers than ever before, institutions and individuals bringing traffickers to justice, resources on the ground to fight drug addiction, and major improvements in infrastructure and equipment that increases the effectiveness of Afghan law enforcement. I saw many of these advances when I visited Afghanistan in February, and I salute the bravery and commitment of the Afghan law enforcement officers who are involved in this fight. We know the fight is hard, and we want our Afghan colleagues to know that America and the international community are here to support you and are vested in your success. The United States alone has committed nearly $350 million to implement this plan and support Afghanistan's counter-narcotics efforts. The outcomes we seek require broad partnership. We encourage all those facing the threat of heroin and opiate addiction and trafficking, and those who are concerned about terrorism, so in other words, all nations, to join us in helping the unity government implement this plan. We believe that more responsibility in the hands of an effective Afghan government is the only long-term solution. In light of the renewed commitment this plan represents, we call upon all countries to join us in making concrete financial pledges to the needs outlined by the Afghan government at this Paris Pact Policy Consultative Group meeting this December. Afghanistan's people and leaders have a vision of a united, secure, and sovereign Afghanistan. President Obama has been clear that the United States is and will remain the greatest supporter of this vision, and Afghanistan's new National Drug Action Plan is a critical part of achieving it. So Dr. Abdullah, Ambassador Tanin, thank you for your leadership, and to all the nations and organizations who are represented here today, thank you. We thank you for all you've done and for your continued support in the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Higginbotham, the Deputy Secretary of State, for your remark. I think your presence here with Chief Executive Dr. Abdullah, Foreign Minister Rabbani, and aid of other members of our delegations, dignitaries. It's also another symbol after that event that how we work together, and this is a very important moment with the presence of our leaders here and the delegation, that how we can synergize and put actions together for issues that are very important for Afghanistan, including these important issues of launching in near future the National Drug Action Plan. At this stage, I would like to move to other parts of this event, that is, as we call it, Q News, question and answers. But let me inform you that His Excellency Dr. Abdullah agreed to answer some of the questions you may have, but the Deputy Secretary of State may answer the questions in a separate arrangement in a press conference. So your questions would be addressed to His Excellency Dr. Abdullah.
No, I sort of spoke longer with the hope that there will be no questions left. Please.
Abdullah, Iran, since the coming presidency of President Rouhani, has promised that it would make regional cooperation a priority. Do you feel like since we have a new president in Iran, and since you're in a position in Afghanistan, do you feel like Iran's cooperation around the drug issues and border issues has been satisfactory?
The Islamic Republic of Iran has been a partner in reconstruction of the country, as well as in helping us in dealing with challenges, including counter-narcotics, throughout. But with the renewed commitment and enforced energy under the leadership of President Rouhani, we are hoping to make more strides in this regard in cooperating with one another. So the ground for cooperation, already practical cooperation, is already there. And having the presence of Ambassador Melbourne here, I would also like to thank Europe for its contributions in this regard as partners. Many European countries in European Union has also contributed a great deal in this regard. The presence of our colleague and friend, Foreign Minister of Tajikistan, is welcomed, and there we have good cooperation in the border areas with Tajikistan in dealing in the same way with other partners. Yes, please.
One of the main destinations of narcotics from Afghanistan is Russia. Do you have any contacts with Russian authorities?
We do. Yes, we do, and under different, in bilateral as well as in multilateral way. We do have contacts. There are areas of cooperation between both countries. But we expect all of the countries which are affected one way or another to be more forthcoming. But there is a good basis of cooperation, history of cooperation in the past few years between both countries. But on that, I would say that we also expect the countries to move beyond rhetorics and step in a concrete manner, because this we cannot allow this challenge to grow even further down the road. So our expectations from all those countries which one way or another are suffering because of this and have concerns and have serious concerns. And this is one of the serious concerns as far as Russian Federation is concerned, to be more forthcoming and also align their programs to help the strategy in dealing with it, and everybody will benefit from it.
And one more question. In Colombia and Mexico, we know who is the enemy, narco cartel, mafia group. 80% of worldwide opiates produced in Afghanistan are not produced by single family, I mean poor Afghan family. Who is the main, let's say, main enemy for the government? Who is produce and control all the trafficking in Afghanistan? Small, big, several groups?
Part of it is part of the international narco mafia, and only the hands are in Afghanistan, and part of them are the people which are now under arrest, and they are being prosecuted. These are the people which, and also there is no doubt that the insurgency and those who are fighting against the government of Afghanistan, they are also part of this, the beneficiaries of this, and their military activities are being supported through the narco business. There it's not like this big names which then you have movies made on their lives and then their misadventures. But those might be outside Afghanistan. But there are lots of them which are being prosecuted at the moment. And I should praise the bravery of those law enforcement officials, the attorneys which are following these cases. They know that there is a risk to their life, and we don't have a system of protection for them, but they courageously have gone after the criminals and have taken action there, and that is a point that is very encouraging. So it has reached to the citizens that the citizens take risk in order to deal with this. Okay?